I'm Sarah Lacy.
And I'm Paul Carr.
And welcome to this week's Why Is This News? Paul, we're back in the same place.
We're back. We're in the. It's not a visual effect. You're in the studio.
I know.
And I'm here.
And just to up the ante, we have someone in the studio.
We have another guest. It's like we're cramming to make up for
Why
it.
don't you introduce our guest?
You're just doing that because you know I can't remember his surname, aren't you? Mm-hmm. We're here with Vineet, whose surname I can't remember. Vineet, introduce yourself to the guests, to the viewers.
Hi, I'm Vineet Devaiah, CEO of a company called Photo Tour. What we do basically is we get geotagged images together and we create kind of like a Google Street View type effect.
So you said in your sort of email to us, it's social street view, which is kind of interesting. So,
but that's not what we're here to talk about.
But we're not going to. We'll talk more about the company in the post. What we're interested in is you wrote to us and said that you're here in the Valley. You came over because you won a competition, right? So
we were awarded the emerging company by NVIDIA.
Okay, and then while you were over here, you thought, well, I should meet some people in the Valley, maybe look at investment and.
And you've just stayed.
And you just haven't left. Like me. I just came here to pick up a pizza.
But what I liked about your post is, I spend so much time writing from a Valley point of view about investors and entrepreneurs in emerging markets, which is, where we see a lot of growth. You've kind of had the opposite, where you've been someone who's heard about all these legendary personalities, heard so much of the Valley, and have had kind of this whirlwind, month or so here. And you said in your email that it was like meeting characters in Alice in Wonderland. Is that because we're all weird?
Who is the Dormouse and who is the Mad Hatter in your analogy?
No, I wouldn't say who the people are, but
who the individual
characters are. But yeah, I think that's right. I think for the most part, just because once you talk to them, they're just like normal people, right? So when you're in India, you just look at them in TechCrunch or anywhere else. For example, I met Vinod Khosla in Disrupt, and I'm a big fan of him. And then I got to talk to him.
Perhaps maybe he could be the rabbit with the watch.
Let him talk.
I'm just trying to piece this together.
Ahead.
Yeah. So then had a chance to pitch to Khosla Ventures. So it was a good thing. So met a lot of people. Some people obviously, disappointment meeting them, but for the most part.
Hopefully not us.
I'm disappointed. Every time I meet you, I'm like, oh.
So some of the core differences a bit. It sounds like you've been a little bit let down. Like people are either normal or they're a disappointment. Have there been things that are weirder or more surprising to you about Silicon Valley?
I think the whole herd behavior is a little bit surprising for me. The way as soon as you get a term sheet or you get some kind of interest somewhere, everybody jumps on you, right? So, I thought people would be more kind of, they would sit back, think about it, that kind of thing, and then, have critical insights on what your business is going to be like. But it's more like, so he gave you a term sheet. Oh, what's the valuation? All right, I give you a term sheet. So it's kind of weird that way.
So you actually got some term sheets and turned down funding. Is that correct?
Yep.
Why?
Because when I came here, I didn't have anything about funding. So I just came here to pick up the prize and just get kind of, product guidance and get mentors, basically. Because in India, it's really difficult to get mentors who have done kind of social media kind of, websites. And most of them are more enterprise software, that kind of thing. So that was pretty much my goal to come here. So when everything just exploded and everything like happened 3 weeks, we just took a step back and said, we don't need it right now. And, that's it. There's really nothing as such that that kind of I can pinpoint and say why we turned it down. It just didn't feel right.
So are you thinking now you'll go back to India and continue running the company there, or have you got kind of a taste for maybe basing it here a bit?
No. So when I came here, the whole idea was to find people who could help me set up the company here. Because I wouldn't want to say this, but most consumer internet companies kind of explore from the Valley and kind of go there. Because I think very importantly is the idea of something being that can be replicated. Like, so for example, in India, if you can get one model in one state, it will not work in the other states. Whereas in the US, if it works in San Francisco, most probably work in Boston, most probably work in New York. So it's really easy to kind of just
go after a big market.
Go after a big market. So and it's always good because most of the kind of Eastern countries kind of follow the Western trends later on. So the idea was really to kind of set up a US corp here and get some mentors who can kind of push us through and that kind of thing. So, and I've been here in the Valley before, so.
Is there anything India can do to encourage entrepreneurs not to leave, to not to have this brain drain? Like, is there something immediate that can be?
No, I think the most wisest thing is to have a US corp here and have a development team in India, because here it's so difficult to get, retain good talent, because everybody who can code is now starting a company because they're getting funding, right? Whereas that's totally different in India, because you have smart people that you can recruit. Just if you say XYZ has funded us, they'll come and work for you. Right?
Well, yeah, and I don't see it as a brain drain. I mean, I think when you're talking, there's a lot of big opportunities in India to build a company for India, particularly in the mobile space. Like you said, it's been good in enterprise. Telecom has been a big area, and there's certainly a lot of non-tech areas. But if you're going to do something for social media, I think you'd be stupid to do it in India. Frankly, I mean, India is not China. Most of the India web is in English, and it's not. It's still pretty small web penetration. It's not like China where you have 400 million people online who probably aren't going to use an English language site. And if you want to do social media, I mean, like you talk about the herd mentality. But I think the flip side of the herd mentality is you can get a lot of momentum around an idea very quickly here. And social media is all about moving really fast. So, I mean, it seems like it's sort of confirmed that belief to you being here.
Yeah, pretty much. I think, that is one good thing here, because in India, like I didn't speak to too many VCs, but they take a long time, and, they are still, they haven't come to terms with the fact that you can actually grow a company and then think about revenue later, which is a good and a bad thing.
Frankly, because you don't have the amount of venture capitalists who will continue to do a B round, C round. I mean, I think a company would be stupid in any emerging market if they totally didn't think about revenue from the beginning.
I agree.
So I want to get back to this idea of you not taking funding, because I just know our viewers are watching this and they're just saying this is all bullshit. Because no one would be starting a company and have like offers from really good people and be like, well, I'm just not going to take funding because it doesn't feel right. Like either you want to start the company or not. So like, what's the real answer for why you didn't take funding?
All right, so because we are profitable. So we already have revenue coming in. So we have a product and we have a services model. So we do the services and we get the revenue in, which is letting us expand slowly. So we really don't see the need to bring in, $1 million, $1.5 million, and just expand for the sake of expanding.
Hang on a second, Mike Larry.
I think
we're on camera right now, Mike.
By all means, come in and join us.
Can we finish our shoot? Okay.
Let's finish up.
Paul, why don't you go see what Mike wants, and I'll finish the shoot. I guess we need to go, Vineet.
Sure,
Thank you so much for joining us.
And good luck.